Hi, this is Darryl again. I'm making a follow-up video to one I did a while back, and I'll put that link of that video in the description in case you didn't see that one. But this should be a little short one. It's basically a follow-up to that one and a little bit different twist on how to line things up. So here we go. So this is going to be a round sign. You can see the circle here, and this is going to be words he's going to put on. This is for our customer. The words he's going to put on the sign itself. But what he wants to do is he wants to have a cutout. I believe this is right. He wants to have a cutout of these letters and to place them on a circular sign so they're raised above it. So basically glue them on there. And his question was, how can I make a score, a small line here to line up the letters that I'm going to stick on there? I said, okay, well, let me show you how to do that. So let's start up here and let's select this letter, this word. And I'm going to make a contour on the inside of these letters. Just a small one, and then I'll tell you, I'll explain a little bit of what we're going to do with them after that. So basically, on a different piece of wood, it would cut these letters out, this word out. And these would be, let's say it's a 1/4 inch thick or an 1/8 inch thick. He wants to glue them on top of this sign, but he wants to make sure they're lined up correctly. So that's what we're trying to do. So anyway, we select this sign. Now mine, I'm going to show you again how to do the dockers. You see over here on the right hand side, I've got all these little, what they call them, dockers, and they're little tabs. So this one is a learn tab, and you click it. When you click it, it pops out, and then you click it again, it goes back in. There's our properties tab. Well, the one we're looking for is the contour tab. Now these don't normally show up on the screen here, but to get them to show up, you come up here to Windows, click Windows, come down to Dockers, come over, and you see all these things that are listed. Well, one thing you will find out is, oh no, Dockers doesn't exist. And I think I told you the same thing on another video, but see, you don't see Dockers. And that's a weird thing about CorelDraw. Sometimes something you need is in a different place that you don't realize. And I believe this one's over on Effects. So let's go to Effects. And sure enough, down here at the bottom, you can see contours. Now mine is checked, which means I've already selected it to show up as a docker on the right-hand side. You can also hit Control F9. That's the little shortcut key that allows you to pop up the contour. Anyway, so let's just forget all of that. So let's go over here, hit click on contour. It pops this out. So right up at the top, remember I've got this selected. This is one we're working on. Right up at the top, you've got these options. You've got to center. You've got the middle one here that's highlighted, which is the one we need, is inside contour. And it gives you a little explanation there. It says apply a contour to the inside of the object. And then go over here to outside contour. And you remember this is an object. I think I showed you that in the other video, but if you have any questions, just let me know. So anyway, I've got the inside contour selected. And I want to do it in one step. You can change those steps, but that does different effects. So let's leave it one step. And I want it pretty small, so 0.02 inches. Excuse me. So we're going to put 0.02 inches is the contour offset to the inside. Corners, you can select that. You can do mitered corners. You can do round corners. You can do bevel corners. I'm going to go ahead and select the round corners. Really doesn't make any difference on what we're doing here because we're just going to lightly score the boards to give us an idea of where to put the letters. So, but I'll do rounded. Color blend, don't worry about color blend. We're not going to deal with that. Acceleration, object color, don't worry about those either. And just click apply. So you can see what it did. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see it a little bit easier. So it put a black contour line inside our red cut lines. So now what do we want to do with it? Well, we don't want, you can kind of see what's happening here. If our red outline is the size of the word that we're going to be cutting out from a different piece of wood and gluing it on top of the score lines, which are the black lines, it gives us a guide to see where we're going to need to glue those on, and all those score lines. And when I say score lines, when we go to the laser, we're going to lightly vector cut, not cut through, but just go real fast and a low power that it won't cut into the wood, but it'll put just a small cut. We'll cut it just a little bit, just a small, shallow cut line to give us something to go by when we glue our letters on top of it. So how do we get rid of that? We don't want the red one anymore, because that's going to be the size of our lettering, and that might show if we don't line it up perfectly. So what do we do? Well, there's several ways you can do it, but easiest way is to right click, and where it says break, you can see it says break contour apart, or you can hit Control K. That's the shortcut key. So let's left click, break contour apart. I'm going to go ahead and hit these two double arrows over here to move the contour screen docker back in. So now I've broken those apart. So now what do we do? Well, let's click off of it. Let's click off of everything. So nothing's selected. And up here, I've got my nudge distance set at 5 inches. So that's good enough. So now what we want to do is since we broke those apart, we can move them separately. Let's just click on the red one, the outside one. And then let's hit our down arrow key on or right, left, whatever. Let's go down. Get that out of the way. In fact, let's just move it off to the side over here with the arrow key. And now we have a black vector. So if I click on it, you can come down here and you see that it's a hairline. Well, we can go up here and see that it's a hairline. So if I click off of it and click back on it, select it, you can see right up here, it's a hairline. And for an epilogue laser, which he has and I have also, a hairline is treated as a vector line, and it will cut instead of engrave. And all we gotta do now is set our laser to a low enough power or a fast enough speed so it will score these lines, and it won't cut through the board, but it will leave us a spot, a way to glue, basically. So let me show you. Let's just give you an example here. Let's fill that with black. And this is what we've cut out of another board. We move it over, and of course we're doing this by hand and not by computer. And we line it up to where all those black lines are covered up, and glue it on, and we're done. So he also has I think he wants to do a hummingbird in the middle, but he said all he really needs to know is how to do this part right here. If for some reason we need to come back later and address the bird. So this bird is a graphic I got off the internet. It's a bitmap. You can kind of see the fuzzy edges to know that it's a bitmap. And you have to work on that just a little bit to get the outline done from a bitmap. I can show you how to do that later. Maybe I'll do that in another video, but right now that's all he needed to do. And I wanted to give everyone a chance to see how that works. And if you guys have any questions or have see any other projects you need done that you can't figure out, just let me know. I can show you either CorelDraw or the laser work. But this is what he needed, so that's where we're going to end the video today. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe, share this video, like this video. None of this costs you anything, but it helps me a bunch. Subscribe, like, share, tell other people about this, and have them subscribe too. It doesn't cost anything. I'm not going to put your name on a list. I'm not going to be emailing you unless you ask me to. My information is all down at the bottom. Just call me, text me, email me, and visit my Etsy store if you get a chance. Anyway, thanks. See you guys later. Bye.